Marshmallow Fanboy back with another review, this time of all the Squadron Supreme figures I've gotten so far in the recent Marvel Legends series. Now, I wasn't going to get the Squadron Supreme figures because they were expensive and they were in 2-packs, and I thought, well, I would get them if they went on sale, and I think this one went on sale at Target, so I picked it up. It was about 30 or 40% off. And then this one was a Hasbro, I think it was on Hasbro Pulse. It was in the clearance section, but it was sold out. And then I thought, well, I'm probably not going to be able to get that one. And then suddenly it was in stock again and still in clearance, so I picked that up too. Power Princess went down to $20 on Amazon, and it was from a seller. It was from Amazon Australia or something like that. It was international, but it was still through Amazon technically. So that was the one I sort of paid the least amount off on, because that was only 20% off. But I'm still pretty happy because I had these two. I just needed this one. When I was a kid, they had a Squadron Supreme miniseries. It was 12 issues. It was in the 80s. And that was my Squadron Supreme. I didn't know about them before that miniseries. Like I said, I was a kid, so I didn't know about kind of all the Avengers crossovers and things and them belonging on another Earth or anything. I read the series. I didn't realize they weren't sort of on the same Earth as everything else. But these are the more modern versions. And I can tell because the costume for Nighthawk is black and blue, and the face is mostly uncovered. He has the cowl, but the eyes aren't covered. For Blur, the Blur costume had this sort of a Charlie Brown zigzag on his chest, and it was an older guy with yellow goggles. For Power Princess, she wore a singlet. Her shield was a force field, and she didn't have a sword. For Hyperion, there was no domino mask on him, and for Spectrum, there was no mask at all. It was a regular guy's head. I think in their world, they didn't have a secret identity. They didn't have secret identities. And of course, because Power Princess is basically Wonder Woman, there was no need for a secret identity there. These, I don't know if I sort of understood when I was a kid that these were analogs for, not maybe analogs is the wrong word, but these were homages, or sort of, they were basically the Justice League, Marvel's version of the Justice League. Marvel said, we want to see the Justice League and the Avengers team up. Let's do characters that have Justice League like powers, and maybe make their personalities a little bit different, make their power set maybe a little bit different, something like that. So they did that, and we've been sort of enjoying that ever since. I think every company does that. I think if you had a character, Marvel has a character, eventually it'll have kind of a DC Comics kind of version of that character, because they'll want to see that sort of character team up with other characters. So let's take a closer look. That was a lot of talking. Let's take a look at the packaging for Nighthawk and Blur. It's the plastic-free packaging, of course. Has cool artwork on the side. It's really nice. Has what they come with, their accessories and everything, which is a really nice touch. I did like that part of the plastic-free packaging, was that you got a clear indication of what the accessories were inside. You don't always, with the window, sometimes some things get occluded or hidden. You don't quite know what's in there. Power Princess is a return to plastic packaging, as is this whole wave. I've already opened Crystal Warrior, and Justice. I don't plan on getting the rest. I think I get Namorita because I need her for my new Warriors collection. But they said in their live stream, when they were announcing this version of Namorita, that we know that you collectors are waiting for a different version of Namorita, and I'm thinking I could wait for that. So hopefully I'm going to get that. But that's Power Princess. Comes with pieces for the Void, which I am not putting together. I have no plans to put together. And then Hyperion and Spectrum. I think a few years ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, there was a Hyperion miniseries. I can't remember what it was, but he was dating Titania, I think. It was set in the Marvel Universe. I can't remember much about it, but it seemed like I enjoyed it. He was like a trucker, or he was like, I can't remember, but it was a fun series. And then Dr. Spectrum. Dr. Spectrum reminds me of there's a DC character. Is it Prism? She's on, I want to say, gosh, Justice Incorporated? Nah, no idea. But it does remind me of a DC character. There's a female character that has sort of a rainbow suit, and she fires rainbows or wields the rainbow. That all sounded very weird. So let's see. I got Nighthawk, Blur, Power Princess, Hyperion, and Dr. Spectrum. And they look good in the box. Well, I don't know. The only one I can really see is Power Princess. And they had to put Squadron Supreme Power Princess at the bottom to let you know that she belongs with that set. It would have been nice to have had a wave of Squadron Supreme, but if they're, there's one member that has wings. I can't remember who that was, but it would have been nice to have Build-A-Figure wings for that character, like they did with Falcon or Vulture, like they did with Vulture a few years back, and with Falcon. Come to think of it, that was Build-A-Figure wings. Anyway, let's break these open and see what they look like in person. Now that they're out of their packages, let's take a closer look at the Squadron Supreme. I'm not going to go through the articulation, or I'll briefly go through the accessories. I'm just more concerned kind of with the sculpt and how fun it was to kind of pose them. Starting with Power Princess, everything goes really well with her. She has an extra pair of hands, one open, one fist. I didn't change the hands that were on her already. So there's one holding hand, one sort of expressive hand, one fist, and another holding hand. So she has two holding hands, a fist, and sort of a gesturing hand. It's like a, hey, how are you doing? Pat, pat, pat. Sorry about your loss. So that is Power Princess. I know it's a little weird. I'm doing like really quick reviews, but I figure some of these, this one's on a newer buck. There's no kind of rivets in the arms or the legs or anything. And it's a really good sculpt. It's a really good figure. It's hard to stand up. I had to go with little stands from my toy case. I got that on Amazon. And they fit really nicely on the Marvel Legends figures. They help her stand up, because otherwise she's just extremely difficult to pose for me. Some of you are out there going, she stands on my shelf just fine. I don't know what your problem is. And my problem is that she doesn't stand very well. So there. This Nighthawk, of course, no figure stuff on him. He's got to be, the legs are newer because there's no rivets in them, no pins in the arms or the legs. It's got an ab crunch here. It's got butterfly joints here and here. And, of course, all the things that you would expect, ankle rockers. The head moves really well. The cape is really nice. It's a really nice figure. The accessories were, I left the fists on him. Let's see if I can get him to stand up again. I think I moved something a little out of whack. There we go. So he has two gesturing hands. And neither one of these hands holds the, for lack of a better word, the Nighthawk. There's three of them. The little batarangs. He's so obviously the Batman of the group. But it's very cool. Those could go with Batman. they wouldn't look out of place. Those are really cool. But he can't hold them. They have to really balance sort of precariously in one of the hands, but they don't kind of snap in or anything. You just kind of maybe have him like hold it straight up in the air, but you're not going to casually kind of hold it unless you hook it and sort of have it dangle from his grip. But even then, it's sort of the weight on the bottom sort of takes a hold and just works itself out. This one has this cool kind of, open fingers. So you could be like, oh, I'm going to put that there. But if you move him a little bit, it just kind of falls out. Oh, that's staying in. That didn't stay in when I tried it the first time. Maybe it's because it was the wrong finger. No, it does that in that one too. How about if I put it in here? Oh, you know what? Maybe if I just put the open space there and I have it. But if he's neutral, nope, it still works. Darn it. Could have done that for some of the pictures and things. But I did not do it. But this is a super cool figure and a good addition to your collection. Blur, I put the foot stuff down because I wanted it to seem like he was sliding to a stop or something. But it's a really cool figure. This one has newer knees, newer arms. I keep mentioning it because Hyperion and Spectrum have old bodies. But it's really nice paint job. It's a little bit of a rub there. Maybe some black that's out of bounds. A little bit there. But for the most part, really cool. He's got the butterfly joints, which is a weird thing. Not because, he shouldn't have them. He absolutely should have butterfly joints. They probably all should. But he came in the same package with Nighthawk, who also has butterfly joints. And I said I wasn't going to go over the articulation, but here I am going over the articulation. Here we go. Hyperion. He has the little circle discs. I don't know if those come off. I imagine that you could take them off. No. Maybe they're pinned in. I don't want to mess with it too much because I don't want it to come unpinned. He has the girdle. He does have pin arms. Pinless legs. All of these figures are probably, except for maybe Power Princess, are reuse with maybe a newer head sculpt. But this one, there was Hyperion a long time ago that came out with the first wave of Marvel Legends figures when they started re-releasing them again. It was first or second wave. I can't remember. It's like a Target or a Walmart exclusive. So I feel like some of this is reuse from that figure. Like maybe the arms and the torso and things. Maybe not the head. But that is Hyperion. He's very cool. And then Dr. Spectrum has... I should say that Hyperion has 2 holding hands that I didn't replace. I left the fists on him. Because really, what's he going to hold? That sounded weird. What's he going to hold? Oh, you know what? I didn't show you Blur's closed fists. Yeah, that's Blur's closed fists. I did tell you about them. I just said I put the open hands in there. No, I didn't tell you that. Okay, I lost track of what I told you. So he comes with a gem, which is probably like the Green Lantern ring. It's just sort of this... I don't think it's the source of his power, or maybe it is. I'm not really sure. And then there are his closed... Well, his more closed kind of holding hands. And then I have the gesturing hands in there. Comes with the little Dazzler rings, which I just took the hands off and I put it sort of partially in. I put it on the smaller hole so the hands aren't completely plugged in. They're not nearly all the way plugged in, but it was enough to hold it in. So it's a very cool figure. It just reminds me of my childhood. I really like Squadron Supreme, and I really like that Hyperion miniseries. I loved the 12-issue series when I was a kid, and hopefully they're going to come out with more figures in the future. But my feeling is that, they're going to taper it down to maybe, because the 2-packs didn't do maybe as well as they thought they did, hence the clearance. So I think maybe they'll release one now every not quarter, maybe half a year or so. So we might have that to look forward to. So these are cool figures. Just want to share my Squadron Supreme figures with you, and hopefully by the time this airs, they'll announce another one to the series. So until next time, enjoy your toys.